For the last 14 years, every holiday we've taken together has involved Disney in some way. Now, Disneyland Paris has been important to us, it's our safe zone, but when we booked a week in Mallorca, it was something completely different. No rides, no packed itineraries, and no racing from one attraction to the next. And honestly, before we left, we weren't entirely sure if we'd enjoy it. Would we enjoy slowing down? Would we enjoy a week on a Mediterranean island? And would it have enough to keep us interested? Slowing down and switching off is not necessarily our style, but it was much needed. And was Mallorca really just as good as everyone says it is? So over the next week, we explored historic towns, walked through nature reserves, discovered some incredible coastlines, and tested the local transport system, and found a few places that completely surprised us. We're Matt and Tom Travels, and this is what happened when we traded 14 years of Disney holidays for a week in Mallorca. Now, I know what you're thinking, that doesn't sound like a big deal, but for us, we haven't left the country, besides going to Disneyland Paris, for 14 years. We've been together for 14 years this year, and it's become like our safe, happy place to go to. And this year, we vowed we would go somewhere different. Thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you. Have a good day. See you later. This is home for the next 5 nights, the Vel Mare Capriccio Hotel in Can Picafort. And after a relatively short travel day, this was probably our first real taste of what this holiday was going to feel like. It was quieter, slower, there was a lovely temperature in the air, and this space to actually stop for a minute. Rather than being right in the middle of everything, the hotel felt slightly tucked away, surrounded by greenery, and that ended up being something we really appreciated. The resort itself had this relaxed, almost village-like feel to it. We had the pool, somewhere to eat, somewhere to grab a drink, and plenty of space to just do absolutely nothing. And actually that became quite an important part of this trip, because while we did plenty of exploring, this was somewhere we could come back to at the end of the day, slow everything down and properly switch off. But we hadn't come all the way to Mallorca just to sit around a pool, so once we settled in, it was time to see what actually was on our doorstep. And it turns out that we really didn't have to go far to start exploring. Our base for the week was Can Picafort on the north coast of Mallorca, and one of the things we really liked was how easy it was to just head out and see where we ended up. There was the beachfront, the restaurants, the shops, and plenty of going on, but it never felt like we had to have a plan. And for two people who normally are very good at turning a holiday into a military operation, this is quite refreshing. And one of our favourite days actually started with us doing something incredibly simple. We just went for a walk. Much like a lot of holiday towns, they've also got the land train that goes across, and there's a couple of them. By the looks of it, it takes you along most of Can Picafort and Alcúdia Bay. So there's easy ways to get around. Just to point it back to Disney, because why not? This is the point. We're seeing if we like a holiday that isn't Disneyfied. You can tell, oh my god, you can tell where they obviously get their inspiration from, because you know it's fake when you go to Disney, but it looks so real. But then you look at it in the real life, and it doesn't
It doesn't feel real.
I want to stay there.
That's so cool.
From Can Picafort, we headed towards the Platja de Muro on foot, and ended up being one of those parts of the holiday that we actually hadn't planned to become a thing, but it did. The route takes you away from the busier resorts areas and through the woodland and nature reserves, and suddenly everything changes. It becomes quieter, greener, and much more peaceful than we expected. This is probably the point where we started to understand the area a bit better, and that this holiday is slightly different to what we used to. We were just walking and exploring and seeing what we found. And eventually the trees opened up onto Platja de Muro. And yeah, this was pretty special. Seeing the mountains in the distance was spectacular. We eventually ended up at Baganta Beach Club. Now this looked like a non-open to the public restaurant, and we just walked up and they were like, yeah, absolutely, come in. It felt like a fairly appropriate reward for the walk to have some really quite amazing cocktails. A couple of cocktails, that view, and absolutely nowhere to be. I think this was one of the first moments where we thought, we could get used to this. Baganta?
Cocktail heaven.
Cocktail heaven. 5 out of 5 for that. We didn't have any food, but the food that was there looked really good, and also the birdies. There's lots of teeny tiny little birds, all sort of in the sand, and all the seats are in the sand. So that was cute. I enjoyed that.
Walking was great when we wanted to stay fairly local, but if you were going to get around to see more of the north of the island, we needed to work out how to actually get around. We used Mallorca's red and yellow buses, and this was honestly much easier than we expected. We used contactless to tap on when we boarded and tap off again when we got off. Once we'd done it the first time, it became one of those easiest parts of the trip.
That was really easy.
That was easy.
I always get a little bit nervous about travelling from anywhere else, especially using public transport, but that was super easy. That's just dropped us off right outside the walls. So now let's go into the old town.
One of the places that we really wanted to see was Alcúdia Old Town.
Yeah.
This was probably where Mallorca started challenging some of the assumptions we had before coming here, because when you picture Mallorca as a holiday resort, this isn't necessarily the first image that comes to mind. The narrow streets, the old stone buildings, and the little squares, the cafes tucked away down side streets. It felt completely removed from the resort side of the island.
Of course, I have my camera with me, so that means getting all the shots. We've been here for all of about 5 minutes, and I can tell you already that this is somewhere that you should definitely get the bus down to, or if you've got a car, travel down to it, because the architecture is so pretty. It is.
I'd live here.
Oh yeah, I'd quite happily live here. These people are lucky to live here, but also I can imagine it's a lot during tourist season, so just be respectful that people do live here. This is their home. come to Alcúdia Old Town, which is all the way along the coast of Alcúdia, and this is all your traditional architecture. And you've got I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to say it wrong every single time.
What?
The name of the mountains. Tramuntana, that's it. These Tramuntana Mountains. Which is 90 kilometres of mountain range spanning across the northwest coast of Mallorca. And it's literally, as soon as you fly in, this is all you see. Yay.
And then not far away, you've got a completely different side of Alcúdia again. Down towards the port, everything opens back out. The marina, the promenade, and the huge stretch of gorgeous white beach.
Also never been in the sea in another country either. Not for, well, we never together.
Nope.
So this is nice. And I don't go in the sea in the UK.
Considering we have
some of the
amazing
beautiful
beaches.
Like the beach is stunning, but I just like going in the water. Those are little fishes in the water as well. This is gorgeous.
By this point, we'd realised that getting out and exploring was probably becoming our favourite part of the holiday. And then there was Pollença.
So we hopped on another bus and we come to Port Pollença, which speaks for itself. Getting around by bus is actually really easy. It's all displayed in both English, Spanish, French and German for the most part. So it makes it easy to navigate. The buses all have signs and digital screens. It's easy to tap on and tap off. Actually, no regrets not renting a car.
Pollença felt slower. It wasn't somewhere that we felt we needed to race around and tick things off. It wasn't overly touristy, and it was somewhere that we could just wander.
Fun fact, at any given time, this marina can have around 600 to 1,000 boats moored up at any given time, which is mind-blowing. There's just boats as far as the eye can see. If you're interested in all of that, this is definitely somewhere to go. There's also a boatyard, obviously people making, fixing, maintaining boats. Very cool. That was really nice. It was really calm, really peaceful. I can imagine though, like in peak season, that's like mental there. But nice and quiet.
There doesn't seem to actually be that many people around here compared to.
No, but to be fair, I don't. None of the areas seem massively busy. So June, this second, third week of June is probably a really good time to come.
Not because it's not like the main part of Mallorca, I guess, because there's.
Well, Palma is where
Palma
everyone
and
goes.
Magaluf.
And Magaluf, obviously party city, but that's why I'd never ever go to Magaluf.
Hell no.
Couldn't think of anything worse. I know it's probably pretty, but it's way too busy and too much of the wrong vibe.
And I think that's one of the things this trip was slowly teaching us. Not every day needed to be a headline or have a headline attraction. Then, slightly unexpectedly, one of the favourite discoveries of the week was one of the food shops. It was called Agromar, and this was a boutique-style grocery store, and it was really quite fun. We didn't actually purchase anything. We probably should have, and I'm kicking myself now for not doing it, but it was a really beautiful experience, considering it was just local produce and fruit and veg. It made the whole place feel more elevated. This is the sort of place we love finding when we're away: local produce, the things we'd never normally buy at home, and an excuse to wander around looking at food considerably longer than two people should ever need to do.
I think we've been fully swayed into these warm holiday things. It's nice to go somewhere different and experience new things together, which we don't do often. It's just nice to be in a warm country and have a swimming pool. It's just been a really, 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 really good time.
But one of our favourite places of the entire week was actually much closer to home. And on our last evening, we decided, I don't know why we waited till the last minute, but go down to the actual port called San Bauló. I'll put it here if it's incorrect. Why we waited? This place hasn't been on any recommendations at all, and arguably one of the most underrated and most beautiful places. We came down at around about 9 o'clock, which was after we had dinner, and the sun was setting. There is beautiful bay. It's so clean and it's so tidy, and it's kind of exactly what you would expect parts of Spain to look like. Everyone seemed so friendly. There was a beautiful restaurant down on the seafront as well, which was the only one there, and it overlooked the bay, and they had some beautiful rocking chairs. It was stunning. Somewhere during this week, something had definitely changed. At the beginning of the video, we asked whether we would actually enjoy slowing down, whether there would be enough to keep us interested, and whether after 14 years of travelling, in pretty much the same way, we'd enjoy doing something so different. And the answer wasn't really what we expected, because we didn't spend the week doing nothing, we just travelled differently. We explored when we wanted to explore, we stopped when we wanted to stop, and we found places we'd planned to visit, and some of our favourite moments came from the places that we had no plan to do at all. Are you converted from just going to Disney? Yeah. So what was your favourite part?
Where we just walked,
Yeah.
but none of us had a camera.
No. I managed to get a couple of bits, but my phone died.
No,
I didn't bring
mine.
this. He didn't bring his phone. So it was actually quite liberating. So we got to enjoy it just like that, but the sun was setting, which was nice.
And then where we went yesterday as well.
And to the old town in Alcúdia.
Braving the transport, that was fun.
I just said that. I said I'm really proud of us because we didn't, we're not the most adventurous, I suppose, of people, but... Hello, pigeons.
I'm going to fight up there.
We've been very lucky this week with the weather. The weather's been great. We've had a sort of between 25 and 29 degrees, so can't complain. Not one day have I felt overly too hot. All the buses are air conditioned. Pretty much everywhere you go is air conditioned, so you can really relax and you don't feel too sweaty. And the resort's been really nice. Now, would we come here again? Yes, 100%. So final thoughts as we sit on the terrace and soak up the last little bit of the night air and the atmosphere. I can quite easily say that we are converted from having just Disney holidays. Not that I didn't think we wouldn't be, but it's interesting considering we've never, as a couple in 14 years, been out of the country. And I know I keep saying it, but it is a really big deal. And explored anywhere else. I'm proud of us. We took foreign public transport, which we had no idea about. We did rely heavily on Google and Google's AI, which was really good actually, and give us some great information. I'm proud of us. We've had a great time. 14 years is a long time to keep returning to what you know, and we still love those holidays, but Mallorca reminded us that Stepping outside your comfort zone doesn't mean leaving the things you love behind. Sometimes it just gives you something else to love as well.
Over there, that direction.
So, was Mallorca as good as everyone says it is? For us, yes. Just maybe not for the reasons we expected.